Okay, everybody, welcome. This is Vincent St. Louis. This is our Friday morning team call every Friday morning. So we have 53 agents have joined our team in the last 30 days. So congratulations to everybody that's out there sharing the gift of EXP. And that's what we mostly talk about here on this call. Although what I share with everybody on a weekly basis is it can be used in all areas of your life. Even relationships, spiritual. There's just a lot of stuff that is interacted. But the main priority of the call and the way it started almost 8 years ago now has been for revenue share, building revenue share, sharing EXP with other agents. How do you do it? Why do you do it? Which is the most important part. And then what's the process of moving the needle in your business, in your life? Whether you want to sell more real estate, you want to recruit agents, you want to build passive income stream, then you've got to have the foundation of the steps that it's going to take to do so. And you've got to understand why you're going to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. You know, I was talking to a good friend of mine, Chris, and we're both kind of struggling because we're changing our script up. We're changing. So if I'm your sponsor, most likely it was, hello, this is Vincent. I'm a broker expansion specialist at EXP Realty. Love the opportunity to share with you what EXP has to offer you. You open it, schedule time to talk, something to that effect. And I've said that at the first 4 years, I cold called 60 to 100 dials a day. And that's what I said when people answered the phone. And now I'm switching it up to a whole new pattern, a whole new thing of, hey, if I can help you to close another 2 to 3 deals a month, would you be interested in talking? And so it's changed. And before I didn't get any questions. I only got yes, no, or maybe. Now I'm getting questions. And so anyways, Chris and I are talking, and part of the challenge is because he's doing the same thing. I was laughing because yesterday, so we call each other or text each other at least once a day, usually in the evening. He lives in Hawaii, so he's 3 hours difference time frame from where I am in California. And so I texted him yesterday evening. I'm sitting out back having a cigar and watching some baseball, and I text him, and he says, I'm doing my calls now. And I forget that there's a 3 hour difference. But anyway, then he calls me. And we're laughing at each other because he says, how's your calls going? I said, man, it was just a tough day. I did everything I could think of to avoid making my calls. Have you ever done that? Oh, I'm going to check my email for a 20th time this 10 minutes. You know, yesterday it was so bad. And I know I'm doing it, but I still do it. And so I go outside and I've got to walk around. I got to get out of my desk. I got to get out of my head. I got to readjust. And I go out and I look at the pool. And it's like, oh man, I need to vacuum the pool. So I vacuum the pool. And I know you guys have never done this. You guys are on top of your game. You're disciplined. You're structured. I know you guys are, but I struggle sometimes. And then I come in from cleaning the pool, vacuuming out the pool, and I look outside and oh, my neighbor's taking out his garbage can. I'll go take out my garbage can so I can talk. And then it was just like, so many times we do this. So many times we spend more energy. We're laughing because he's like, man, I was doing the same thing. I was doing this, I was doing that. And it was funny because we spend so much energy avoiding doing the things we know we need to do to move the needle in our business, that doing the thing that we need to do takes less energy than avoiding doing it. And that is a fact. And so finally I said, you know what? I got mad at myself, and it's like, dude, just sit down and make the calls. Just start dialing. Whatever happens, happens. Just let it happen. And the first lady I called laughed at me, which didn't start out very well when I'm making my calls. But the fifth call, I think it was the sixth call, went really well. And the guy was interested, and we scheduled time to talk. So avoiding doing the things does not move the needle in our business. In fact, it takes so much energy, so much effort to avoid doing the things we need to do, but it's less painful. But it's not, because it's more painful, because then we look up one day and we haven't moved the needle in our business. We haven't done anything in months, weeks, years, centuries sometimes. So I was looking at a book that I've read many a times called by a guy named Chris Brady and Orrin Woodward. They're very, very successful in Amway in the day, built a huge organization, just great masters at leadership. And the name of the book is Launching a Leadership Revolution. And so I picked it up and I was reading over it, and I want to read a couple of things in there and kind of let's talk about them a little bit. And one of them is, if what you did yesterday still looks pretty big to you, then you haven't done enough today. Wow, that's powerful. Isn't that amazing? I mean, if you want to move the needle, if what you did last year, last week, last month, yesterday, last hour is still looking pretty big to you, then you haven't done enough today, this hour, this minute, this year. I mean, the reality is, I don't care what it is you want to do. If you want to move the needle, if you want to advance your finances, your stature, your relationships, whatever it is, it's going to take effort, and it's going to be painful, and it's going to be hard, it's going to be challenging. But when you look back, it's not going to be that much work to get where you need to go. You're still going to remember the pain most likely, but it's not going to be as painful as you thought. And you're going to look back and think that it wasn't that bad. But if we don't move the needle, if we don't advance, then we feel bad about ourselves. You know, like I said, I've been going to the gym almost every day now, and I'm figuring this thing out. If you know me, if you've been following me, or you've been on the calls, you know that I've never worked out a day in my life as far as going to the gym, working. I mean, I've gone a couple of times, probably a handful of times, but it's just never been me. It hasn't been me. But I'm 63 and a half now, and I'm things are starting to change when you get older. And so I'm determined to get my health under control. I'm actually down 4 inches in my belt. Isn't that crazy? I still look in the mirror and say, man, you're still kind of chubby. Where how bad were you before? I wish I would have taken a picture of myself when I did it, but when I started, but I didn't, think about it. So I got a couple of vague pictures of me, but anyways, so I go in the gym now, and I'm proud of myself for doing it, for being disciplined, being committed to my goal. I feel better, and I have more energy than I did before. Man, I was just so tired I couldn't figure out what was going on. Well, that was the problem. I was a freaking sloth. I just wasn't moving enough. Anyway, so I'm excited about where I'm at. I'm down. I was 228 pounds in March, and now I'm down to 193. And most of it was in my belly. I looked like I was pregnant. I didn't realize it. My wife's like, yeah, I told you did. Anyway, let's move on. So another part of this book here is, no one has ever accomplished great things by babying theirself. Along with taking personal initiatives, leaders must learn to push themselves beyond the borders of their comfort zone. What I've been talking about. Exactly. Got to push ourselves beyond the comfort zone. We got to put the success is just the other side of the comfort zone. It's not far on the other side. It's right there at your fingertips. You just got to reach out and grab it. And success could be whatever it means to you. It's different for everybody. And part of the problem, like Chris and I were talking about, is we're a little bit comfortable because financially, and he's got a pretty big team too, so he makes good money. Of course, he lives in Hawaii, And so it's not cheap there. But financially, I don't have to do anything. EXP pays me well for what I did in the past. But if I want to progress, if I want to get more, if I want to get better, if I want to bless more agents, then I have to push myself. I have to do more. It becomes a place of because you when you get to a spot where you're complacent or comfortable, you've got to find a burning desire, something that moves you enough to get you to do the things that are uncomfortable to do. Forcing myself to make the calls yesterday, as I will today, is there's a reason why I'm doing it. There has to be a reason. I'm not just doing it because I want to make more money. It really that can be a driving force, and it can be a very big one if you're broke. You know, that's part of the reason I built what I built. You know, financially, I was desperate for success. And I knew the only way I was going to get there is to push myself to make those phone calls. And I got very good at structure of every morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. I was dialing for dollars, and I did it for almost 2 hours. Most days, $60 to $100 a day. And then it became a spot where I didn't need to do it as much. And then the team started growing. But it started with me. And then I recruited one, and then I recruited two, and then I recruited three, and then somebody recruited somebody. So then I'm five, and there were people there that I didn't recruit. I was talking to Lee the other day. Our team is just doing amazing stuff. She's really doing a lot to help her team to share EXP with other people, and she's doing amazing. What a great leader she is at leading her team and helping her team, and by also doing it herself. And by leading by example, and then serving the team, the community, those that want to go out there and build revenue share. And so she's doing amazing things. And that's because why? Because success is right beyond our comfort zone. Here's another one. Same book, same thing. The rewards for achievement hide themselves beyond the borders of the familiar zone, awaiting those with the guts and the discipline to push hard, experience personal growth, act with courage, and go places not gone before, to claim those rewards as their prize. So the reward is the achievement that is out there. There is success out there. There's people out there that want to move to EXP that don't know it. There's people out there that want to move, they don't know it. I got a call last weekend, Saturday. I got 2 calls from 2 agents that I've been following up with. Listen to this, you guys. This is the importance of following up. One person was 2 years ago, was when I first talked to this agent. Calls me last week, says, hey, I'm ready to come to EXP. I haven't really talked to the person, and then, I mean, I've followed up with them. No answer. Another one, my broker, Coldwell Banker agent, my broker actually was the office manager, not the broker. Pissed me off. They brought in a new manager, and this manager sucks. And they come from the car industry, nothing about it. It really, and on and on. This lady talked for an hour, complaining about her office manager. Been following up with her for almost 4 years now. She sells probably about 15 deals a year in the Bay Area, and 15 to 20 deals a year. And I've already had her on 3-way calls with team members, and she's in the process of moving over. She's got 2 listings, and then she'll be moving to EXP as soon as those clear up. So as you build, when the timing's right for people, not right for you, right for them, as long as you stay connected with them, you have a process of, that's the biggest challenge with people doing leads. You just don't have a system to nurture the database that you have. You don't have a drip campaign. You don't have a way to do it. You're not doing enough of it. You're not reaching out to those that are have more interest or that are actually opening your emails. You don't have a way to harvest from your field of data, and you've got to figure that out. So let's take this to another thing. In the world of leadership, the victor is the one who pushes to grow and improve consistency. Winston Churchill said, "It is never possible to guarantee success. It is only possible to deserve it." Performers know this and push themselves until they know they deserve success. Let me tell you, there's something about being proud of yourself for accomplishing things. You know, you look at when I used to coach my kids' little league. I had we raised 4 boys, and you look at a child, or you look at when they're out there on the, whether it's like my granddaughter doing ballerina, or they were staying with us for a couple weeks this summer, and I was watching my granddaughter. I think she's 7 or so, and she finally got the hula hoop, and she was wiggling, and she got this thing to spin around, and she was cranking it, and she was so proud of herself for accomplishing that. She tried so hard to get that darn thing to whip around her body, and she worked on it for a long time until she finally figured it out. And then every time she picked it up, she was able to whip that thing around and keep it up on her hips, and there's something about being proud of yourself, even if nobody else notices it. A lot of success is done in the dark. A lot of success is done when we're alone and nobody notices it. Nobody's there to celebrate when you push yourself to make the calls. That's why success in business is so different than success on a playing field. You've got that. You go out there on the field and you're hitting home runs, or you're running touchdowns, or whatever you're doing, and everybody's clapping and cheering for you on a weekly basis. But it's the time when you're alone, shooting the free throws, practicing in the batting cages, when you're sitting at home, avoiding making the calls, and finally you push yourself, and then what happens is you get more consistent with it. Then you stop. You get more disciplined and structured in the time frame that you're going to make your calls. We all have to get to that point. We all have to push beyond the comfort zone to get us to the point where we can be structured in our doing, our daily method of operation, our activity that we have to do to get us to success. And let me tell you, being so proud of yourself that you accomplished it is so much value. Because otherwise we get dejected and we feel down on ourselves. We lose confidence, and before long, we just quit. We just stop trying. And then at a certain point, either we continue that way for the rest of our life, or at some point in time we have to slap ourselves in the face, put our big boy, big girl pants on, and it's like, I'm not done yet. I'm going to accomplish something great. I'm going to do, because it's just the doing. The only difference between you succeeding or you not succeeding, or somebody else succeeding and somebody else not succeeding, is the doing. You ever seen the video? You should Google it or YouTube it. Some spam call. Oh yeah, I've got so many spam calls, like 10 or 11 yesterday alone. But anyways, Art Williams of A.L. Williams, of the insurance company, just do it. So you should Google that or YouTube it, and Art Williams, just do it. Speech. It's a phenomenal. And his whole thing is, you just got to do it. You got to do it, and you got to do it, and you got to do it, and you got to do it. Well, Art, I'm a manager. Do I have to do? Oh yeah, you betcha. You got to do it. You just got to do it over and over, and that's it. Whether you want to sell more real estate or you want to recruit agents, if you ask enough people the qualifying questions, you will get answers. You will get yeses. If you want to, if you're single and you want to find a date or a spouse or a companion, hey, you may have to ask, talk to 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people before you find the right person for you. Everybody out there has a right person for them. Everybody does. There's people out there that you look at them and you're like, man, it's an odd looking couple, but you know what? It's not about that. It's about what's in it for them. Their relationship, their companionship, their communication skills or whatever. And so there's people out there that want to buy and sell houses. There are people out there that are crushing it in real estate right now, and other people, I look at people's numbers all the time. There's people out there that are barely doing 2 deals a year this year. And there's other people who are crushing it. What's the difference? The doing. The difference is in the doing. I'm not going to get to where I want to go. I'm not going to bless a big driving force to me is blessing the lives of agents. There's agents out there that their life will change forever by getting into EXP, and some will just sell more real estate. Some it's a lateral move from one brokerage to another. Nothing's really going to change. They're just going to do the same deals that they normally do. Some are going to grab a hold of what EXP has to offer, and they're going to sell more real estate. And some are going to grab a hold of revenue share, and they're going to change their life forever and their family's life forever. They're going to go out there and recruit a bunch of agents. They're going to build a big team, and things are going to change. I know that's just, but there's nothing wrong with the people that only sell 1 or 2 homes a year. There's nothing wrong with it if that's what they're happy with. That's one of my conversations now. It's like, are you happy with the volume that you're doing right now, or do you want to do more? Because some people are happy with it. I don't want to do any more. I've had many people tell me that. That's fine. That probably for most of them, the reason why they don't want to do more, because it's so hard for them to do the amount of work that they're doing. Because they don't have systems in place. They don't have a path. They don't have a method of doing it. And so without the systems, it's too much work. But that's fine. That's the way they are. So they're not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the one that says, yeah, I would really like to do more, and I wish it was easier. And yeah, I would love to do, know what you're doing, how you can help me to close a couple more deals a year. That's the one I'm looking for. So if the doing there, then the pushing myself until I deserve success. Like you, I think I deserve it without the work. Absolutely 100%. I do deserve it without the work. I did the work. I'm 63 years old. You kidding me? I've done a lot of hard work. I deserve the success. I deserve it to be a little easier. I know. It doesn't work that way. I mean, it may for you, and that's, good for you. It sure don't work that way for me. But anyways, I hope this helps somebody. Read a book. Pick up a book. Pick up a book. Start changing the way you think. Start changing the process. Start being more disciplined in your activity. Start pushing yourself to new heights, because that's what we're made for. So I hope this helps somebody. I hope you guys have a blessed week. Let me know what I can do to help you. I do appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you.